Peace, HHDG. We are on another episode of HHDG Media, the podcast. And shout out to everyone tuning in right now through our Facebook group, HHDG, as well as our YouTube channel. And as always, this is made possible through our company, HHDG Media Inc., which consists of T. Smith, Demir, Rock Vader KB, and myself, Wiki. For tonight, before we get into our guests, as always, you can check out our website, which you can see at the bottom banner, hhdgmedia.com. And from there, you can check out some of our written interviews, music, merch, upcoming events, and there'll be more and more from there. But for tonight, we have an MC repping Baltimore that's been putting out a lot of dope music with his crew, GAWDS, which is an acronym for going at whoever. Going at whoever don't surrender. They currently have an album out that dropped on February 29th. It's called Legend at the Dive Bar. And this is one of, I believe this is their fourth album, if I remember correctly. I know Gloria came out a few years prior to this one. And they're one of the few groups that has MCs with a singer as well as a DJ. That combination is not too common, and it definitely works for them. And they've been putting it down for quite some time. And if you listen to the album, you can just not only feel the chemistry that they have together, but having the right type of singer with the MC and combined is not something that's, easy to come by. So I'm sure that all of them have been pretty much family for quite some time, listening through their catalog. And with the latest album, there's some features on there one of which I'm a fan of, and they worked with in the past. Pause One out of Cali, been doing this thing. Who else was on there? Eat a Mad Assassin, another dope MC right there. And I mean, we'll get into more of the guests, but we're going to stick more with, the group and the MC that's part of the group. Sorry about that. That's part of the group. But like I said in the beginning, two MCs, that's Pinpoint and Regulus. The singer's L3, and the DJ. Always do this. Rocky Styles. Sorry about that. Rocky Styles. So for tonight, we're gonna speak with Regulus, and definitely welcome him. Speak about the album as well as the career of the group and the music, and their come up. So I'd like to introduce to the world right now, Regulus.
Thank you all for having me. Thank you for HH Media for having me. I appreciate it.
No doubt.
Good to be here, man. Yeah.
Definitely. Now, I wasn't exactly sure, but was I right? Is it 4 albums or is it 5 albums?
Yeah. So I had technically an EP called Race, and then it was after that was The Other Side, and that was an album. It's kind of like a mixtape kind of album, but it was all original. And then we did then Gloria, and then this album. So yeah, it's pretty much 4, and we have a couple mixtapes. So there's a couple mixtapes out there. There's one called Shrooms at the Beach House. So that's one that's a download. So if you go to Bandcamp or whatever, you can get it.
Nice.
it's like a collective of stuff that we've had over, I think, probably about 2017, 2018, that we just stuff, but we just put it out. It's all mixtape style over other people's beats. There's a couple originals on there too. Just yeah.
So before we talk a little bit about, you know, in the past and everything, can you explain who is the biggest comedian of the group? Because I noticed on social media, y'all got a lot of jokes and funny stuff going on there.
It's definitely not me. Just so I have a lot of jokes and I can be funny and goofy, but it's probably Pinpoint. I would say Pinpoint's he's very easy to get along with. He's definitely a jokester, you know, likes the kid and more intellectual, you know, joking, you know, but it's he's definitely probably a jokester out of the crew. I definitely would say Pinpoint easily.
Okay.
Yeah. He's got that sense of humor. I do too. Mine's more like slap happy, you know, stupidity. But he can get that way too. But his is he's definitely more liable to crack a joke than I am, you know. Especially when we're in the lab and shit. He's always joking around behind me. They're probably making fun of me and everything else. I'm so in my, you know, mixing and engineering. Like, you know, they always get on my goddamn nerves. But nah, yeah, he's the jokester, man.
All right, dope. Now, is everyone originally from the Maryland area in Baltimore?
Yeah.
Okay.
All pretty much from Baltimore. You know, I met Pinpoint through the scene probably about 2000. I want to say 2009, 2010. He was with the whole crew, and I always thought they were dope. They thought we were dope, so we've been putting on for a while, and we played a lot of shows together, and then collab back in the days. And we took a hiatus for a while. I wouldn't say we stopped rapping, but I just kind of like have moved in and had a little like makeshift studio messing around, and asked him to collab again, you know, and then shortly after GAWDS was formed. And we didn't expect it, but we started making good music and we had some chemistry together since we had known each other throughout the years, and it just got better and we worked at it. And then we had 3 members in the beginning. It was a dude named Playboy that used to rap with us, and then he left for you know, for reasons like personal issues. And then we got a you know, L3. We met him through like an open mic down in the and like scoped him out, but didn't see him perform that night. But we were like, you know, through Instagram, I guess, or Facebook, kind of like messaging back and forth. Like we recognized his talent as singing, and we kind of got him in the lab and started working with him. So I kind of started like molding him, and I produced his first like EP-ish album, and basically with a dude called Tom Delay that was living in New York that also rapped with a crew called Breakfast around here. So we got him in the group, and it just added a different element. And I guess we didn't decide to like kind of like after Gloria that he was like a full-time member, because he had been on the 2 albums prior, and we just wanted to incorporate a different element. I mean, we love the boom bap, we love hip hop, we're different hip hop in the roots, but he had a different element, and that sound you don't hear a lot. And like you said, with the DJ, it just added a little bit more, and we got a broader, you know, network now as far as reaching out and different, because we can do a little bit of everything, you know, a little bit more of everything now. So with that R&B touch and that singing vibe, but we still keep it hip hop, you know. Yeah. So that's the key. And no, we have fun, man, you know. And and everybody's been doing things in the scene for a long time. Our DJ forever around here, and he also DJs at local clubs, about 4 or 5 spots at least a week, you know, if not more. And he tours with groups, stuff like that, but does his stuff with us too, so he's very busy as well. Yeah, but yeah, all from pretty much Baltimore. I'm from Southwest Baltimore. I think he's from kind of the west side of Baltimore too, Pinpoint. And I know that currently he has a place in Park Heights, L3, but I know that's where he's living now, but I don't know. Okay. You know, people, but everybody's there. You know, we're here. We're definitely hometown people. You know,
That's dope. Yeah, when I was listening to your music, there was one group that came to mind that was almost similar to you. I don't think they're together anymore. They're from the UK, called Hawk House, and they had MCs, singer, and a producer.
so I have to check them out. Oh, it's
Yeah,
called. I don't.
well,
I don't know. Heard of
yeah,
them.
I think it's HAWKE
I'm gonna write it down.
House. I'll send you a link.
House. I have to check them out. That'd be interesting. Yeah, because you don't hear much of it, and I'd like to. You know, it would be cool to hear more. You know, and they have dope hip hop vibes. So yeah, I'll definitely check it. Hawk House. Cool. Thanks, man.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Now, you were saying how it wasn't. How would you say it? It wasn't meant in a certain way that you were going to create the group GAWDS. You know, just happened to be that way. Normally with a story like that, there's like a certain turning point that it just became. What was that turning point for the four of you?
Um, you know what? It was like we were always involved with the scene. I think when we had our original member play in the beginning, and I was living in like a 1-bedroom apartment, a basement, and I had a studio in the basement, and that's where we made our music. And cats would come over there and pay me for sessions and stuff like that. Cats I knew and local MCs, and we kept on doing it and doing it. And the dude, like I played, he had some personal issues, and we were bummed out because of it, because he added a different element too. He had the lines and this cool cadences that he used to rap with. And when he dropped out, it gave us like the momentum. Like we were down at first, like we didn't know. And he couldn't be around as much. And then he moved out to PA, and it was just a lot. So it kind of like saddened us at first, but it got us back. It was like, we can do this ourselves. Let's just do it ourselves. Because if we stop now, we'll just stop. It's dead. So we said, let's pick it up. Let's continue to do it. And it was just me and Pinpoint for mostly the longest time. But we'd have a clique of MCs that we work with and artists that we work with that we were involving. And that's kind of like how L3 came into play. And then also our DJ had came into play prior. It wasn't until like we had a show in Atlantic City one time, or around Atlantic City, Jersey Shores. And we had, I think, 2 shows in that weekend. And he had came out and DJ'd, and we had over a couple beers after one of our gigs. We're like, yo, we need a DJ. Can you be our DJ? And his name's Paul. So me and him were always good friends. We knew each other from mutual friends. We used to hang out sometimes and stuff like that. So I always respected him, and his craft is sick. So we became good friends, and we incorporated him. So, and then the next step was like I said, the open mic thing with L3. And then he came along and just added that different element. We just couldn't pass up on his talent. And he has a lot of it. He brings a lot to the table.
So, so who are some of the more notable people in that scene, the hip hop scene, when y'all coming up that y'all still work with? Because I know You'll Never Know is one of those people.
Yeah, that's my guy. He's a great guy, very humble guy. Always been a dope artist. He's been, God. I mean, we were back in days when we played in like Sonar and stuff back in the city. We would participate in battles. He's good free. I want to go up on stage, and I know there's somebody in the crowd that can go up and freestyle. You'll never know. He'll go up. He'll grab the mic with me and freestyle. You know what I'm saying? And I love that, because that's hip hop to me. You know what I'm saying? So that's my guy. The humble guy, always fun to work with, down to earth, and always got a smile on his face, always a positive man. So shouts to You'll Never Know. That's a good dude. In fact, I got to get him on another song, because we be talking about it, and I'm slacking. I'm going through a lot of personal shit myself, but he's definitely well respected. There's a lot of artists from here that are well respected and have made their path, you know,
Yeah.
and they are, I've watched some of them grow. I've watched some of them put down the nonsense and become really good artists, you know. So and he's definitely one that's been putting in the work for a long time.
Definitely.
Yeah. So yeah, so he's there's a lot of other artists from here. We're trying to motivate my camp to get on. So I got cats like Fat Boy coming out, and he just put out a single called $3 Olive. We're on it. And this dude Dwell that he used to rap with, and then Sonny Reds. He had some pub back in the day here. I'm trying to get back on. So there's some cats from within our group that were getting back on the building their stuff back up. You know, their career. So so I'm looking forward to hearing their new projects and working on those projects with them. And yeah, there's a lot of other cats that I do keep in tune with through the music and through mutual friends, you know. And I just try to keep as humble as I can be. We got a collective called Radio that's coming out. And that's with this group called Pink Elephants that's on our album. Dude Cliff Love, he's like a local battle rapper here, does very well. And then this girl Brina, she's really nice. And it's a mix of like a little bit of everything. So you got a little bit of rock, you got a lot of hip hop, but you got a little bit of soul and some things. So we got a video and stuff shooting out that way too. So kind of branch off and kind of help everybody because everybody's doing their thing and they got their own fan base and their own marketing strategies and everything within their groups. So we're just kind of trying to combine all that, moving power numbers now. That's it.
Definitely feel that. Now, coming up and even till this year, I always say it's important to know your stage presence and how you perform. Your group has, I'm pretty sure, has performed countless times, you know, no matter what the venue is. So and if you see a lot of these more bigger venues where a lot of these well-known artists perform at, some of them are not very good at it.
No.
And go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go.
I was going to say, you know, that experience from consistently working and performing, and no matter, like I said, no matter what the venue is, definitely comes into play.
Yes. Yeah, it's a big thing, man. I'm very extra critical upon myself. So even when my group will think we have good shows, and I'll be like, we have bad shows. The sucky thing in a way, we haven't performed in a while. We got the next show that I know on date is May 18th, and it's like a festival, and there's like rock bands and stuff like that that are performing with us. So we'll be in a breath of fresh air with some hip hop. There's some hip hop too, but we'll be a breath of fresh air for that kind of atmosphere. But yeah, man, it is a necessity to be there for the crowd. The crowd's there for you, but you got to be there for them, and you got to entertain them and make sure they're involved. A good thing they get on stage and make sure they're interactive. You know, you could start winning them over with your presence, and if you have a good stage show, and you're going on there and jumping all around, and you're killing your vocals at the same time, not rapping over your own lyrics or whatever it is, you know, you can bring them in. But I always try to, especially if I see the crowd for the openers before us or whatever, I'll try to bring those people in. So I got them locked in, you know, and then once I got them locked in, I want to keep that attention. In fact, I want to make them more amped. I want them to follow instructions and try to interact with us because we're here for them. You know, we're here to put on them. They're there for us. And they might be there for the headliner too, if we're not the headliner, you know, but that's a good thing. You know, we want to captivate as that audience as much as we can. So it's a big thing, and I'm extra critical upon that. I always am very, very particular about like executing at shows and and bringing the audience in and knowing that we have a good show. And sometimes it's tough, and those intermediate those big shows happen to be a little easier sometimes than some of the smaller shows. You know, you get smaller shows, 30, 40 people in there, 50 people, and you're just trying to get everybody's attention. You know, it's either going to go bad or go good. It's like there's no real medium, you know, in there. And those are important moments too, because they could be, you know, it might be one or two fans or three fans that you would, but if somebody locks in, it's worth it, man. So you gotta be on your toes all the time. And I've had, God knows, I've had hiccups on stage at points where I practiced multiple times and then still like screwed a verse and had to break into a freestyle or cover up. And a lot of people don't know, you know, they don't know. If they don't know your lyrics and they don't know your songs, they don't know. So most of the time, it's good if it happens, if they don't know. But if they do know, it's your friends that know. So if you got your friends in the crowd or some family that's into your stuff, they'll know, and they'll be like, yeah, so that's like, you know, and that's it. But I'm extra critical upon that. And that's one thing we need to get better at, and as a whole. But I think we've all performed on stage quite a bit. That we have that chemistry. We just need to play more shows, and that's one of our goals this summer. And we're actually looking into that now. And we were talking about doing some shows with you know, different artists. And Paul's was meant something too about coming out here. So we'll be doing that if you know, we've been trying to do that for the last couple of years, and we've done a couple one-offs shows over here with him. And I did one out in LA a couple years ago. But yeah, so we try to build that, and but we really need to get out and you know, gorilla grind again, you know, because that's a must, man. And you got to have a good stage show too to go along with your package. You know what I'm saying? So
definitely. Tell us about the name Regulus. You know, where did that originate from?
So it was funny, man. When I grew up, I was always the youngest rapper, man, in like out of the crew. And I grew up with a bunch of dudes that lived, you know, on in like Howard County, kind of like on the Baltimore line, and they were all from New York. Well, except like one, you know, but all the other three.
Uh-oh.
I always called myself the run of the litter, and you know, I was the youngest. But it was fun growing up that way because they were really talented, and I had to learn off of them to become a better MC. And back then we would do group battles and stuff like that, and battle other crews and things. And they like throw me out to the wolves, and I'd always get picked on first. I always called myself the run of the litter, and I was always looking for like a double R, meaning because they used to call me like double R. And then so I was like, oh, let me find something that goes with that. So I always liked astronomy, and Regulus is it was like the 25th brightest star of the universe. I think it's like the 26th now or something, but it's the 25th brightest star in the universe in the orbit of Leo. So that's what Regulus is. It's a star, and a lot of people don't know that. So they asked me about it, and I'm like, why Regulus? You know, but that's what it is. So I was like, yo, I figured a star, and I'm in astronomy, or a Leo is compatible with Aries. I'm an Aries, so sorry about that. I'm an Aries, so I was like, yo, that's dope, you know, and it rolled off the tongue, and I never dropped it. So, and it fit, and everybody calls me Reg, you know, Reg or Regulus. So now, so it's like it's stuck. It is what it is, you know.
Okay. That's dope.
But I think I was looking at it, and when I looked at it, when I found the name, I looked in like it was like a 1942 dictionary, which was funny as hell. It was I literally looked for something to go with run. That was another R. But my first name is Ryan. So I looked in a 1942 dictionary, like a hardback dictionary my grandmother had, and I found that word. And I was like, this is dope. You know, everything else sucked. I was like, this is dope. So I used that. I've been running with it ever since. And that's probably since, I would say, shoot, about 98. Yeah. 97, 98.
Okay. Mm. Speaking of physical books, did you grow up with a bunch of books in the home?
So that's funny. There was quite a bit of books in the home, and my grandmother used to like to read. My mom would read sometimes. Funny thing is I never read. I was a fast reader, so I would read a lot of books when I was younger,
Hmm.
and then I stopped reading. Like I don't read hardly at all, and I hate it. I hate the fact that I do. But if I pick up a good article or sometimes if something intrigues me, I'll read the whole thing, and I can't finish. But as far as books anymore, I hardly read ever, and I wish I read more because it does help with a lot of stuff, especially being an MC. It helps with a lot of things. So, but every once in a while, a friend will be like, "Have you heard of this book or check this out?" And I'll be like, "Yo, just send it to me or let me know what it is, or if you have the book, I'll borrow it. I'll take a look." But yeah, I don't read like I should, man. Let's put it that way.
So what kind of books did you read?
Um, so which is funny, man. I was in a lot into like animals, like reptiles and stuff like that. So I used to read a lot about uh a lot of like reptiles and amphibian stuff.
Hmm.
Uh but intricate stuff too, just learning their ways, learning their habitats, learning like well, what type of animal they are and that they have toxins, yeah, not, so like and I was always in love with that stuff. So a lot of the books that I read were based on like animal stuff.
Gotcha.
Um
Okay.
because that was like a hobby of mine too. It was always music, animals, and then like I like sports too. But is sports. I just kind of played multiple sports, and I still play some baseball and stuff. But other than that, it's sports. It's just music full time and working, and then I've been taking care of my parents and stuff now. So
Respect on that. Yeah.
yeah, I don't have. Uh, I couldn't even name some of the books because I don't even really have any of that stuff. I think I have like 2 boxes of books in the garage right now, and I've probably read 90% of them, but there's still a couple that people gave me that I haven't read. So I'm pretty. How about yourself? You be reading it yourself? Trying to read up on things.
Yeah. I like reading on history, like mainly ancient history, unexplained things like that.
That's interesting. That would interest me. Ancient history is very very interesting. Um, Anything with I'm interested in paranormal stuff and
Hmm.
um, conspiracy theories are cool to look at and read into, but don't get too brainwashed of what it is either way. But it's that's always good. So those type of topics, if I see things, I will definitely be intrigued.
It's like,
So yeah, good books, man. Pass them my way. I'll be definitely down to take some time. I have the time now. I'm about to move out this house, and once I get reestablished here, I'll be able to have a little bit more time on my hands.
yeah, this book by what's his name? I believe it's Eric von Daniken. Um, in search of ancient gods. My father put me onto this when I was younger.
In search of ancient gods. Okay, I'm writing it down, man. So
Yeah,
I'm
this is the cover right here.
search of ancient gods. Cool. Yeah, definitely look at it, man. Uh, that would be dope because I'm into that. I could definitely get down with ancient history. That always interested me because I always thought there was another element to that. Like basically, there has to be a higher being, something that form pyramids and
Yeah,
uh, just
it's amazing stuff. Yeah,
the labor of that, and it's just, yeah, that's all mind boggling to me. So
yeah.
very interesting.
And I gotta say, I think probably within the past maybe decade, maybe a little bit more, I noticed there's been more and more books on hip hop, whether it be autobiographies, biographies, just on the history of hip hop. So I've been in the more recent years reading more and more books that have been coming out.
A lot of them, a lot of people have been writing, books, and that is good, man. I mean,
It's great, yeah.
had Fat Joe have wrote one recently, correct?
Hmm.
And then I know there was a couple other artists that wrote some R&B singers too. There's definitely a lot of people, and that's interesting. I mean, I have yet to really dig into those, even dig into some of the documentaries that I want to watch.
Yeah, that too. Hmm.
But I have yet to dig into those. But I'm sure there's some really good points in a lot of those books. If I read or even come with a documentary, I'm sure there's and I'm sure that's why they sell, and people want to be involved. People
Yeah.
love stories. They love the celebrity gossip. They love being involved and learning about somebody's come up, you know. And I'm sure, like I said, there's a lot of gems in those books. So I should probably pick up and read those more as well, man. You
Yeah.
know, I'm probably one of the only ones that don't read. It's literally the time I have to make the time for myself in my group because I know L3 and Pinpoint they read, and I don't know about Rocky, but I'm done. I'm slacking on that. So, but I got this book, and I'm gonna check out Park House and this Insert God's book and check that out, and then I definitely want to dig into some of those. I would love to go through some of these books that these artists write. You have anybody that you've checked out lately?
I just recently got a Black Thoughts book, but I didn't start reading that one yet.
That's probably incredible.
Yeah.
That's a great book.
Which one's another real good one? The Jay Dilla one that what's his name? Dan Charnas
Yeah,
wrote. Well, that was a good one too.
yeah. I heard something about the Jay Dilla one, so that's dope, man. I mean, he was incredible and gone too soon, man. He did a lot of things that people didn't know of till after the fact. I think that's always
Yeah.
how it happened. But yeah, was
Unfortunately, yeah.
yeah, exactly. He was a force, man. But yeah, man, I'm so we're just riding the wave on this Legends of the Dive Bar now, and we're just trying to continue with that, and
Hmm.
hopefully that has success. It's been doing pretty well. Um, we got some publicity behind it, and of course some of the interviews have been going pretty well, and we
Good.
get comment. I like everybody's feedback on what songs they like, and it's usually a couple of them. So I say, hey, if it's more than 3 or 4, then we're doing
You're
something
doing
great.
it right. Yep.
Usually that's what it is because these albums nowadays, that's usually what I find about two or three songs and I'm done. But yeah, I mean, a lot of them are coming back with 4, 5, 6 songs, so I'm like, oh, that's good, So at least that's a good thing. So how long you been with how long has the HHD media been
Um, I haven't thought about that now, but it's got to be at least say about maybe 4 years now.
Oh, great. Great.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, man.
We
Yeah,
doing
thing,
good.
yeah. Tag me in anything, any way I can help promote. I'll be more than happy to help promote. The same with you guys, man. If you ever share something, tag something, that's greatly appreciated. But I'll definitely do it for you, man. Just spread the word. And I appreciate, you bringing me on here, man. And thanks to everybody that's listening and tuning in. So,
Absolutely, yeah. You know the phrase "we form like Voltron." That's us because we all we all are part of and love the culture, and we all have our certain talents that intertwine with it. So it was a perfect match for us to create the company.
great, great. And that's what it's all about, man. And that's what it is. Just creating art in general, anything that you're passionate about, is bringing together brilliant minds that are all aiming towards the same goal, and everybody can bring something to the table. And
Hmm.
God, our art wouldn't be our art if we didn't have that. We didn't have critique or no, 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 not that. Let's do it this way, or somebody changing things and just, being able to write and create on the spot and having somebody push and motivate you. Yeah. So that's important, man. So, well, blessings to you and your crew there at HHDG. And yeah, man, I mean, that's continue doing what you do. We appreciate that. The small people like us, we appreciate these things. So.
Definitely. I appreciate that. Now, with the new album that came out on February 29th, 29th, right? Yeah. Legends at the Dive Bar. Explain the whole title and then the album cover as well.
Well, it's funny. The last few years, we had been playing a lot of like these dive bar shows, so it's like kind of going back to our roots. And some of us were used to opening up for big artists and playing all these nice shows. Not saying that we haven't, because we have, but we were playing a dive bar and it was those intimate shows, the 20, 30 people shows, 40 people, on a weeknight. And, we were going back with titles of what we should call it. And having 3 or 4 heads involved in a title is never fun, because you'll get the 3 people agreeing and somebody just hates the title. And then we have to go back to the drawing board. So we were looking for a title, and we're like, hey, look, we're all legends, kind of like in the scene. We do, at least in the Baltimore, people know us, blah, blah, blah. But we're kind of want to make a mockery out of ourselves too. So we're like, we've been playing a lot of dive bars lately. We're legend at the dive bar, and because we're still not where we want to be, man. And the dive bars, the roots. I mean, that's where people get their starts. Open mics, dive bars, and that's the roots of everything. And you can't just, you're not just coming into this thing and opening up for Griselda or Wu-Tang or something. I mean, you're going into this thing, always looking just for a chance to shine or perform or gain fans or network. So those are the big chances sometimes. This is the dive bar atmosphere, and it's always enjoyable at the dive bar too. So we're like, look, we're legends at the dive bar. So I hit Rocky up, and this is how the album came back. Rocky's a DJ, and I was like, yo, out of all the places you play in Baltimore, what's the best dive bar spot? So he's like, oh, Dallas played Rosedale, He's like, you sure? I was like, it doesn't really have, it has the dive bar atmosphere inside, but I was like, it doesn't really have it. Outside, it kind of looks like a little bit modern. I was like, he's like, no, but like we shoot there to be a perfect place to shoot. They'll definitely let us do it. I was like, well, can we take drinks outside and stuff? He's like, yeah, sure. We'll take drinks outside. So, that's why I had the beer bottles in my hand. We were doing everything else. We got this girl, Lisa, who is does photography. She goes by Baltimore Paparazzi, and she goes by that. And she's always genuine. She comes out to a lot of shows, has filmed a lot of people, done a lot of album artwork or photo photography for people in Baltimore. So we wanted to keep it Baltimore. So we were like, hey, look, get her to bring her out. She was like, oh, my camera's not new. I haven't brought this thing out. I need to dust it off. I was like, who cares? It needs to get that dive bar feel anyway,
Right.
So let's take a few pictures. So we took one by my friend's car. We took one in the front of the bar, and then one inside the bar. So we were taking a whole mess of pictures and set up the front cover and the back cover for the album, and that was it. And then we wrapped up Legend of the Dive Bar. So shouts out to Lisa and shouts out to Moody and Rocky, and I think he had another friend there. I always forget his name, but he was there holding the boombox and stuff in the album cover. But no, it ended up working out, and we shot it and we had a fun time. So
that's dope.
Yep. And then I hated the album cover because I had Pinpoint do it. And but he's like, no, but I was like, why does the picture look so crappy? He's like, well, it's got the dive bar effect. I was like, and then we came back to like, 3 weeks, I think, before the date or the release date or something, or 2 weeks at least before the date. And I was like, screw it. I'm not going to redo it. I had one friend. I was like, look at this, see what you can do. He's like, man, my creative juices aren't flowing. He's a really good, graphic artist. And I was like, screw it. I was like, just wrap it up. And then people said they liked the cover and stuff. I was like, but I'm extra critical upon everything. So, thank God for Pinpoint, because he ended up taking the high road on that, and delivered. So, and I'm thankful to have him doing the hard work. So it's a good, but it worked. It worked for what we needed now. And it kind of got across the message, and it was our first album. So we had to incorporate with L3 with that too, because it was our first album with him full time, as a GAWDS artist.
Dope. And what was the direction going with this album? Because if you listen to it, when it first starts out, perfect, starting with the DJ on the first track, and what was it? And Sonny Rez is on that one.
Yes, the end verse. Funny song. A lot of songs on this album were kind of thrown together, especially the songs with Sonny Rez.
Mm-hmm.
That first song, being Sonny Rez, actually did together, and we did that song together, and it was a whole different song. It was more grimy. We had a grimier hook that he wrote, and that's my homeboy. So we wrote it in the lab together. We did it. I went away on vacation. This is a funny story. I went away on vacation to on a cruise, and to like Jamaica, Grand Caymans, and Bahamas, and Mexico. So he was watching my dog, because he gets him and my dog have a cool little relationship. So he was watching my dog over here, and I was like, "You can use the studio, do whatever you want." I showed him the little secrets of how to record, blah blah blah, because I'm more or less the engineer, and he's like, "Cool." And I was like, "Oh, I'm probably invite all three over, but he'd be the only one." I was like, "That's fine." So I guess he didn't get the memo that we did that song, and I gave him a beat folder. And he went over the beat folder, and I guess that beat was still in there, and he recorded over that beat with L3.
Oh.
So he's like, when I got back, he's like, "Let me hear you. Let me show you what we did." Blah blah blah. And I'm like, "Oh shit, me and Sonny already used that song." He's like, I was like, and we can't incorporate it because the choruses were totally different. But I loved L3's hook. I was like, we got to use that somehow. And I don't know how we can incorporate Sonny. And then we have Pinpoint on the song. So it's going to make a much longer song. So we ended up cutting it and doing just a GAWDS song for the single for me and Pinpoint, and then and Rocky, and then L3. And then I felt so bad. I was like, "Sonny, we'll do a remix version and we'll shoot the video with you in it, and I'll put your verse back in for that, and we'll make it a full complete song. But we're using L3 song. It sounds better anyway." So then that's what we did, and then that became that. But the flow of the album was basically we had pushed a lot of singles, and that's what our goal was, to just push a lot of singles and try to get some, our fan base bigger. And some of the singles did well, some of them, fair, not so well. But we pushed about 4 or 5 singles off this album, and so we knew that we were going to pick the best from those singles, and we did. And we wanted to incorporate this. Even though we had some new songs, we just figured we'd lay it out. And then we all take time to figure out what's the best sequence. And then there might be little additions that I add on, like some dialogue and things like that. And I wanted to put the dialogue together of the dive bar type thing, to make it all incorporate, some imagery or some story behind the album. So that's how that came about. But that one and Sippy Cup were really funny of how Sonny Rez was incorporated. Sonny Rez was always on the Sippy Cup joint, but that one I hated L3's hook at first, and we had to go back to the drawing board and do another hook. We all liked the beat, and then we ended up liking the second hooks. Those songs were funny how they came about.
Interesting. Let's give the people a glimpse of the visuals for Hey DJ.
Okay. Yeah, we shot this down at Fells Point at one of the bars, at Woo Wednesday that Rocky did. That's called Wednesday night. So that was fun. And this is a shout out to my man Twan, because the dude that's in the video is my homeboy I grew up with. passed.
You can't
And
tell me you don't like this sound.
just awesome. He had been in jail for a long time, like 20 years. And this was our first time that we got back to reunite heavy. And we had an incredible night. And he was in the video with us. And so rest in peace to him. We called him Twig. And yeah, man, it's tough to look at because it's an emotional video for me because he's in it, you know. And
I told Alexa play Wu-Tang forever and then criminalize niggas out here looking pathetic, can't put they pin to mine every time. You can forget it, I think it's dinner time. I minimize stepping with peasants, my S is energized. Skipping lies, straight to confession and next you hypnotize. Bitches send me texts of their breasts and they energize. Synchronize, if we stay connected, we get the winning prize. When I die, maybe my methods will be identified. From 10 to 9, I was obviously with a friend of mine. We near the finish line, I could cross it at any time. I'm with a gritty rhyme, revolving with city crime. I'm sharing witty rhymes and it cost me a pretty dime. Maybe nickel at times, but she gave the pickle a grind. See, I can taste the bitch and then take the shit on the mind. This where the greatest live and still they enable them all the time. I ain't made it big, but I am amazing and hard to find.
You tell me you don't like this sound. I got my family and they all around. Hey DJ, don't turn me down. Unless you wanna piss off the whole crowd. Oh, nice. Hey DJ, don't turn me down. Hey DJ, hey DJ, don't turn me
Can't believe I'm under stress. Got a loaded 9 on the vest. Nonetheless, I create space for 100 guests and move in the crowd, gunning like a running vet. Unimpressed, very seldom I'm not in a ton of mess. Can't have my father living poorly with his son's regrets. Looking like I boa when I run these steps. I'm obsessed. Fuck a yacht, catch me fishing on the thunder jet. All by my lonesome sipping, waiting for the sun to set. They run a test in the countries where the guinea pigs be the whiz. Not these cartoons soft as Winnie is. I'm mostly Irish, but I'll show you where the guineas live. I've seen a lot of violence, solid, it just seems to fit. Within the street code, I'm running this town in street clothes and beast mode. I'm loving the sound, hunting them down the feast mode. Enough to conquer all my demons and unleash souls. Reach goal, we're looking for the diamond that's beneath
you
cold.
Tell me you don't like this sound. I got my family and they all around. Hey DJ, don't turn me down. Unless you wanna piss off the whole crowd. Oh, nice. Hey DJ, don't turn me down. Hey DJ, hey DJ, don't turn me down. Hey DJ.
I will say that some of the best hip hop shows I've been to have all been the smaller venues.
oh yeah, yeah. Especially if that place is like packed, in a small event. Everybody's having a good. They're there for one reason, to party. And they just open up. Sometimes around these big, they're either waiting for the headline, or they're just sitting around. They're just like zombies out there. Like, damn, wake up! Oh, we didn't drag you out here on a Thursday night. You came. Let's get you hyped up. You know, so because you're there to have fun, man. Let loose. You know.
Definitely. One thing I do like about you and Pinpoint is that there's times where y'all trade about, I'd say about 8 bars in the song, and y'all seem to do it pretty easily.
Yeah, and I guess it was never really too hard with him. You know, we kind of had good chemistry from the start, and I think that's why GAWDS developed, and we continued where we were because we had that from the beginning, and we started working at it more and made it better. And I think the newer stuff that you even hear, because there wasn't a lot on this last album and stuff, but we'll have even more trade-offs, a couple bar trade-offs. And just show the versatility. And I even, I had a couple trade-offs on this album with linked up with Pro. I wish that verse was a little longer, but I had some trade-offs with him. But you'll see it with me and Pinpoint even more, Pinpoint not more. And it's pretty flawless, man. Sometimes the tones are off or something like that. We'll have to go just re-record real quick, but it's pretty flawless how we can kind of go off each other. And I think that just comes with he was my number one member. I mean, it was me and him from the beginning. So everything that GAWDS has done was been him and I. We built that. And I would never say I'm never a me type person. So I would never say, hey, look, this was all me. This was us. We did this from the ground up, and that's what we are. So everything we had to believe in ourselves for people to believe in us, and earn the respect. So, and he's a great rhyming partner, dude. He's my ace in the hole, and even though we have some crazy stuff going on in our lives sometimes, and it's tough to get around that because you never want to mix business with pleasure, and we have to cross those lines often. We still keep a tight knit, and we always work on our craft. So when we're making music, it's making music. There's no BS. We leave that shit out the door. We're there to create, and we're there to zone in and lock in. So
that's the way it should be. Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And one of the songs that is an example of what we're talking about is Macadamia.
Mm-hmm. Macadamia. We love that verse. That verse. I love that one. Even I don't even like my verse on that. So that was a song that my Dictor produced most of this album. He's a producer out in Germany. Dictor Production. Shout out to him. He's a great producer and one of our in-house. That song was meant for J Royale, I think, and then we were sent it to him, and he was just too busy at the time. So I was like, but I knew him from back in the day, like we had mutual friends and stuff like that. So he couldn't get on it, and that's why he said the Ivory Stoop line in that. So that's related to that, and I loved his verse so much. Pinpoint's verse, and I didn't like mine that much, but I liked his verse so much that he wanted to fight for the album, and I was like, I didn't really want to make it because we already pushed it as a single, but the single did pretty well. So I was like, all right, and I like the beat. So I was like, but I liked his verse so much, I was like, fine, it's like one of my favorite verses from you, so let's keep it, And I hate it, like I said, I hate my verse on there. So and he kind of knows that, but at the same time, it's like, I fought more for him on Macadamia. But adding the L3 into that brought that different element. It brought that GAWDS element in. And that's what we kind of needed for that track. Because at first it was just me and him, we were just raw and just like two MCs rapping about nothing. But then when we brought L3 in, it brought a different element. And like I said, I stood by his verse. So that's kind of where it went. Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of in-house producers, who are all of the producers that GAWDS work with?
Right now, it's Dictor 2 Productions. He's one of our main producers and has been producing for us for a long time. Named Andy out in Germany. Shout out to him. Like I said, this is a great guy. Always gives me beats on the arm. Never asks for much, and I feel like I don't big him up enough. So that's why I'm bigging him up, man. Because that's stays true to us, and he always delivers. I have Pink Elephants that are involved a little bit now that we do production with them. There's a dude that Richard Cranium that's brought some stuff by, but he's doing like a lot of original stuff with guitar and things like that. And let's see who else produces. We have my boy Tom DeLay. Like I mentioned before, his name is Mike Brown. That's his MC name. That's why he's on that 100 Below track on the album. He does some production. So we production from him every once in a while. And then we'll usually try to bring, buy some production or get some production outhouse. Somebody has some names, shout out to like Thanos Beats and cats like that we've reached out to.
Yeah, he's nice.
He is nice. And so you know, anybody that I respect in the game, I'll reach out to, and of course, Stu Banks, cats like that. So, but me, I am pretty much the heart. I'm the main producer, other than Dictor. So I'd say D2P. I'll give it to him first because he had most, I think, most songs on this album, and I think Gloria too, as far as beats. But I
Okay.
do, and a lot, you'll hear a lot more from me. But every album we've put out, there's a lot of production, at least 4 or 5 songs. So yeah, I always keep it flowing. The MPC's right here. Yeah, you know, I use Fruity Loops sometimes, and yeah, hey, man, I just I've been producing since '96. So you know, it's a part of me. Sometimes I like producing better than I do MCing, and sometimes I just want to be an MC. So I got the alter ego. So it's both. But yeah, I'm that guy, man. As far as production, and people seem to like it, and I produce for some other artists too. You know, so I'm feeding them with beats. Like I said, currently that radio project, I'm feeding them with stuff now, and they're loving it. So yeah, that's mainly production crew, man.
One of the for one of the singles, you gave a special gift for, you know, the fans out there, and that was the vinyl version of Get Up with Pause One, produced by Stu Bangers.
Yes. Yep. So that was a treat because we wanted to have like some, I guess, commemorative limited edition copies of the Get Up. It's a clear 45 vinyl. So if there's a few left, there's only a few left. Somebody wants one. We still haven't been back promoting them like we do, but I'll probably throw another package out there with something, with a t-shirt, the new CD Legends at the Dive Bar. I'll throw that in there since that song's on it, and we'll put it at a good rate. I might even get rid of it for like $40, and like that, and another. We'll throw like another CD in there of your choice and a few stickers and stuff. So we have probably like a 2 CD bundle with a t-shirt and also the vinyl for only like $40. So hey, you know, it'll be a good buy if somebody wants to purchase that, you know. And that's gonna come soon, so we'll put that out there. But yeah, man, that was something that Paul's had requested, and I asked him about it because he asked if we were getting vinyl on the album. I said I don't know if I want to fork out the money, and I'd rather do it independently or vinyl. Where the fan base is going first, and if there's a demand for it. I always love vinyl. I'm always a big adamant person about the vinyl, but and I even told my group they didn't want to do vinyl this time. They actually just wanted to do digital and then get the little either scan cards or scan stickers. And I am always like big on like vinyl and tapes. So that's kind of what I wanted this time. So if there's a demand for it, I will go. I've had some people actually ask about CDs. They're easy to run off, so we'll probably run some physical copies and hard copies. But as far as vinyl right now, I don't know if we're going to do it for the album, but there is still the Get Up vinyl. It's got Daydream on the B side with Pause One as well, which we years back, and we shot a little video up in Hollywood for that in California. So yeah, that's Paul's is a great dude, man. He's gave me a lot of gems. He's helped. He's one of the real ones. You don't meet many people in this game that'll assist you through things or give you some gems and give you pointers. But he's definitely a guy I trust in this game, and his art is great, and he makes music. He knows how to draw a crowd. He's always out there hustling, and I give it up to him, man. We met on a Sean Price tour years ago, back in 2014, and I shot a video with Sean Price and did a song with him, and they were all listening to it. And Sean Price was, I think it was like PF Cuttin, Chip Shabam Sadiq, Paul's mom was on there. Oh God. And not only did I earn like a couple collabs from that, just a respect from performance and doing that collab with Sean Price, I did the El Gant collab first, and that was dope. And he's really dope. Yeah. Okay, yeah, Roscast and El Gant. And then we did that track, and then Paul's had came to me later, and I guess he was trying to get shows in the area and had reached out for some reason. I don't even know why he reached out to me, because Prophet was the one that put on the show, as my homeboy Prophet. He had put on the show, and he reached out to me for some reason. I guess because I did the track with Elgon or whatever. I don't know. But I still had a little bit of connects. And then we got him a show down here for his tour, and he was appreciative of that. And we just bonded ever since. And yeah, he's always been a real dude, man. And he's the kind that you want to work with, man, because he's always true to himself. He's honest, and he'll give you some gems, and he's not afraid to help you along the way if you need a little bit of help, or just give him a call, you know. So yeah, man, I really appreciate people like that in our corner, you know, and I'm there for him much. So
yeah, I definitely respect his grind and the music that he puts out. We actually interviewed him on HHDG Media in the past.
Oh, really? Yeah, he's a great dude, man. Very stand-up guy. We fun times. I mean, he's even, you know, I've even had him in my home, man, you know, staying in my crib, you know. So I mean, that's the kind of relationship, like we're definitely go like tight, you know, in this game together. So like I appreciate everything he's done, man, and he's bigger than us. So it's like having somebody like that you can try to help, and he can always help you. Is a big achievement. And like I said, it's power in numbers, man. And you build those relationships, and you start having respect for those types of people, and those people have respect for you. And they're stepping stools, and they help you along the way. And that's what it's all about. It's all about building those kind of relationships, and having very humble people like him, like the Mad Assassin. There's cats out there that are very humble to work with and very true to their art. Always appreciate people like that, man, that come in our path, because you know you don't get them a lot in this.
Absolutely, definitely. And I think Pause One is gonna have his 10-year anniversary of Face to Facts project coming up soon.
First album or so.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's crazy. I mean, you know, been for 10 years and having the run he's had. I mean, that's great. You know, he's doing his thing, and yeah, I got some of his vinyl here and stuff, and you know, we've performed shows out here a couple times, and like I said, yeah, much shout out to Paul's, man. Keep it going, bro. I appreciate you, and yeah.
Let's play a little bit of the track Daydreaming off the Gloria album.
Okay.
In my mind, all my niggas gonna be fine. But the way things seeming, I figured I'm daydreaming. Fuck minimum wage, pen to the page, and I stay scheming. I'm winning the day, riding this wave like I stay leaning. A greater meaning I needed before my final days. When it's late at evening, I reason on what my mama say. A lot of shit deceiving, ain't reading off of a Bible page. I'm wise with age, you was sleeping, nigga, I'm wide awake. Freakonomically, I'ma speak to people with honesty, but comically, cause I'm on the chronic, but I don't flaunt it. It's all these wannabes that don't wanna see what they gonna be. I'm making fun of you, it's a ton of you, but it's one of when I picture me getting older, the picture is never sober. It's just several bitches shaking their tits and they bending over.
No, I don't wanna dream no more. I'm living out my dreams, so I'm letting them know. Oh, nothing like you seen before, so I don't gotta daydream no more. Oh, I don't wanna dream no more. I'm living out my dreams, so I'm letting them know. Oh, nothing like you seen before, so I don't gotta daydream no more. Oh, don't try act this hard. they're bound to face the wrath of God. We'll pause when even playing field, so bet against the odds. Go pick your squad, they just blended in like camouflage. I stand up with my entourage and look for goods to sabotage. Daydream through my rap collage, I made hits in a back garage full of bar stools and yard tools when I had no job. But yo, I had a dream and had a team with all my barge. Seen unloading these machines like M16s and some barrage. And if you doubt I made it through the storm, then ask around. Cause I'm like Elmer Fudd, I hunt these rabbits like a basset hound. I've graduated, fuck a cap and gown. I'm packing pounds of date night like Tina Fey, so I'm stacking now. I'm TSA trick, I'll pat you down. I'll pick snack you class and yeah, she blunt this war getting passed around. I don't wanna dream no more. I'm living out my dreams, so I'm letting them know. Oh, nothing like you seen before. So I don't gotta daydream no more. Oh, I don't wanna dream no more. I'm living out my dreams, so I'm letting them know. Oh, nothing like you seen before. So I don't gotta daydream no more. Oh, hard to imagine it having it so extravagant, lavishness all around, but I'm surrounded by these savages. Where I'm from, you see the scummiest things. So some of this seems to come from my funniest dreams. No more fighting over crumbs with a gun in my jeans. Picture big titty bunnies working money machines. The math is right, dollars and cents, expensive appetite. Half the night I'm up snorting coke, piping the actress, right? Private performance, Jennifer Lawrence, legs in the air. Take the elevator, exit the stairs, hit the rooftop. Night at the Grammys, taking the group shot. Fan a coupe, rolling the better weed than Snoop Scott. Full parties, a picture of pure insanity. The motherfucking sirens had to snap me out my fantasy. So I don't wanna dream no more.
That was one.
Sure. First joint we did. I even got like one locked in the vault with him that I'm thinking about releasing on my solo album. I still got to do some things to it, but if I ever release a solo album, all my close friends are like, "Oh, you got to go do a solo album," and I've never done one, and I'm like, always been with a group, and they call me that. But we might hear more from that this year, like a Pinpoint solo album, possibly another L3 album. So hopefully, but and Balls has always got something out, man. So it's always dope to work, and always ready. So you know,
that's the way to be.
Yeah, man. He is. He is always there. So it's always a pleasure working with him. And then we always develop like some kind of game plan before we do the push. You know, like that video we had to clean up and got one of his homeboys from LA to pick the video up and stuff as much as we could, you know. But yeah, and it's always like a little game plan with him, which is cool because I like hearing what he has to say and you know what's in his mind versus to hear what's in as well.
Yeah, definitely. When you look back on your rhyming, you know, your structure and your delivery and everything, what MC inspired you the most?
Oh, great. I did. So, man, I grew up with Run DMC, Heavy, Eric B. and Rakim, EPMD. I love DAWS Effects. I love Cool G Rap. So I know all those influenced me in some ways. AZ was always one on the top of my list. Pun, Big Pun. Of course, you mentioned one, Black Thought. But I've always loved Buckshot. Always been a Boot Camp fan. So Buckshot, OGC, Helter Skelter, Sean Price, Rock, you know, anybody from Boot Camp.
Right there.
Yeah. I mean, I had all the Boot Camp albums, I think up to probably like year 2005, 2006. And then I dropped off, you know. But I even if I did have the other ones, I'd get them like bootleg or would, you know, copy a CD from somebody just so I had it. But I would literally buy all their albums. I would always support Boot Camp. And I was a huge Buckshot fan. I think even when I shot a video with Sean Price, he asked me, it's like, so let me tell you, I was a little tipsy. Like, yeah, let me tell you, who's your favorite artist after Boot Camp? And I was like, well, I'd like to say you because you're standing in front of my face right now. But like, I was like, you, Sean, is Buckshot. And he was wearing a Buckshot hoodie at the time. And he was like, oh. He's like, nah, Buckshot's my man. Buckshot's my. I was like, yo, it has to be Buckshot. Because, I mean, he had that influence over me, man. Like, when he just enter the stage like that, I was it for me. You know, that was like, you know, there's some pinnacle albums, but that was one in my life, and I know that verbatim, that album. So I mean, that was it. And a lot of the boot camp albums that followed are Helter Skelter, Nocturnal, and OGC, both their albums.
Yes.
They were all dope. So those artists would probably be my best influence. Also Chino XL, who always been a big Chino XL Bell fan.
Very dope.
Yeah. So I'd say all those artists that I mentioned plus Chino, and but there's a lot of influence in me through hip hop alone, and you get some key styles. I never wanted to sound like anybody else. And I always wanted to develop a flow. I never wanted to have that like offbeat flow or anything. So I was like, man, I have to have like a good flow. I always want to have a master of like a little good flow. I think I still want to master the craft as much as I can and always work. But those MCs alone that I mentioned, they gave me the ability and the momentum to want to pursue the hip hop,
One of on the Legends at the Dive Bar, one of my tracks that I feel is a representation of the whole GAWDS group is the track "The Cleanup," featuring Pete the Truth and Sunny Reds.
Mm-hmm. Another funny song. That was a Thanos beat. We were doing so that song a lot of people like on the album. I'm hearing a good feedback for that. That was our cutoff song. That was the song that we were thinking about maybe not putting on the album versus thinking about putting on. So we were about to cut that song, and we had some I like a little mouthy with Pro and me and him, like Pete the Dark Truth. Me and him and then we had to do these trade-off verses because we had these long, elaborate verses, and it ended up being like too long. And I wanted to get Rocky to put some cuts in it. So when we had these long verses, we had to trim something. So I liked Sunny Six first 16, and I liked Pinpoint's first 16, and I didn't want to trim them. Then I wrote a 16, but Pro had dropped, or Pete the Dark Truth, sorry. He had dropped and went and did a 16, but it was too long with 3 16s for some reason. It just just carried on wrong. So we had to cut. And they were like, well, why don't you guys, because me and Pro used to be in a group, me and Pete the Dark Truth used to be in a group, Pro and Reg, and we used to go back and forth with each other. So they're like, why don't you just split a verse?
Yeah.
So my verse got basically ixnayed where I could only include 8 bars anyway. Or the song was just going to be way too long. So I was like, okay, well, let's split bars. So we did this like trade-off thing, and we didn't love it, but I made it sound as good as I could. And we didn't love it at first. And then I think we even shorted Pete the Dark Truth on some bars. And like, we had some like words about that, but that's my homeboy too. That's my brother. So it was our camp effort, and we wanted to include him anyway. So I think that's why we definitely included it in the song. And then once we laced the cuts on it, or Rocky laced the cuts on it, it became, it became dope enough. I was like, this is that good. This is that slow tempo underground, like hip hop everybody's listening to now. That's the trendy shit that's in. So let's put it in there. We're just all spitting some raw shit. I wasn't a big a fan of Pro and or Pete the Dark Truth and I's a trade-off, but we made it work. And it ended up becoming better than we thought. Like that song's getting a lot of feedback. That is one of the one songs that like if they mention the album, they're like, I listen to your new album. I'm checking out 5. Like they named 4 or 5 songs. That's one of the songs they're naming, and I'm like surprised by that. We're all are, because I was like, that's one of the cut. But then L3, who's not even on the track, he's like, that's a dope song, man. That's a dope ass song, So he likes it. So yeah. So it ended up turning out well for us, man. Which I'm happy of. I'm happy for us.
That's dope. You just never know.
You never do, man. And that's the funny part of this. And the ones you think you know about that you think are like, oh, this is it. This is going to be a good single. or this is gonna be a hit or whatever. They don't turn out the way you thought. I was all behind Get Up. Like I love Get Up. I love the chemistry when we wrote that song, and how Zen came over and wrote that hook right in with us. And then I said to Paul, he was like, "It's dope," and I love that song, but it didn't. It got some notoriety, but it didn't get what we thought it was. I guarantee if like we put this out as a single now, the cleanup, it probably would do better than that. It's just I don't know. It's weird, man. The listener's weird, and it's not what I would think, but it's been doing well for us. So hey, yeah, everybody's mentioning that song. So I take it you like that joint as well.
Yes.
You do like that? Okay, good.
Mm-hmm.
Good. All right, cool. That's good feedback, man, because we wouldn't have expected it.
Mm-hmm. One of my other favorites is Over the Moon.
Okay. That's one that's getting some notoriety too. That was a personal joint for me. And I think Will too. Because Will was like, I wrote this thing. He's like, I'm just trying to change things. He's like, I know we have to have more structure and more substance here. We can't just be talking shit all the time. It's like, yeah. He's like, well, I wrote this thing like a question. And I know it's been done before. Cats like, what's it called? But it was a little different. He's like, I wrote it and get something, get L3 to sing a dope hook. And I read it to him. He really likes it. And I know, he said Jadakiss, I wrote something in the past, like a Y thing in the past. And like, I wanted to do something different than that though. And then, so I made my verse more personal. Everything in my verse is God's honest truth. So that's what I was going through in my life at that time. So it fit. And I think I'm still going through all that stuff. And it made sense. So, that's a personal joint for me. I don't try to stun on that or style off on the verse or anything. It's just my personal shit, and I got personal on that one. I think I was in the car with a friend, and like she heard it, and then she like grabbed my leg. She's like, "Oh, right," because she felt it because she knows what I'm dealing with. So, but it was like that's one of those songs for me. But I'm glad people like it. People seem to like that. I did produce that joint. So, I still kind of dig that one too. I don't listen to our music too much because I'm always mixing and engineering it. So by the time we release it, I'm done. Like I heard it so many damn times. So what I like to do is I marinate on our beats. I marinate on our songs and our albums. I'll just let it go for months and I won't listen. I'll push the song, do whatever I gotta do, but I won't listen to it. Sometimes even a year later. And then I'll pop it in a year later when it's fresh to the year. And then realize how good it is or how I could improve here or there, or whatever, but or critique it. But yeah, I like to do that. I like to come back with an open mind for it. But yeah, man, I appreciate that. That. They are two big songs that have been getting a lot of respect off the album. So that's good to hear.
Yeah. Tracks like Over the Moon, I like more because even though you said it's personal, but you're speaking almost in a third person way and you're questioning things as well. And it reminded me of Master Ace also when I listened to that track.
That's a good comparison. Yeah. And Master Ace is he's an icon, I love Disposable Arts. I love a lot of Master Ace stuff, so I mean, that's a great compliment, and he always had some good subject matter or something that he was talking about that caught, and Master Ace was known for that. So that's a great comparison, and yeah, I appreciate it. I'll take that as a compliment. So.
Did you hear his new album with Marco Polo?
You know what? I heard one track off of it. I haven't dug into it, and I'm gonna write that down too because there are some albums that I've been slacking on. Couple ones that I've been like digging. There's a Mickey Diamond out with Ghost, Ghost Beats production. So that's dope. Big Ghost production.
I think they did 4 now, if I remember last time I checked.
Right.
Yeah.
So there's a couple other artists that I've listened to. Like I always listen to like or give OT the real chance. Really like his stuff. So there's a lot of dope artists that haven't dug into their library or dug into their new stuff. Master Ace is He's a legend. I probably should dig into it. How is it? How's the Marco Polo Master Ace albums?
To me, it's great. I think they actually went levels above, the previous album.
Great. I'll check it out, man. I'll because I have not. That's one I have not checked out. I need to get back in that. I think now is my time where I can go back and listen to a lot more than I was, because I've been in this whole realm of creating and doing, my everyday life stuff that I'm going through right now, which is a lot on me, and I'm always busy. But I need to, but I have some long drives sometimes, so I definitely need to check out some of this new music, man. Some from these old legends too that are making new stuff, because it's not like I don't give them a chance, but I'm quick to jump on the newer cats to listen to them to see what they have, and not so much of these collab albums with these older cats doing, producers, doing collabs with producers like Marco Polo or Buck Wild or, those types of things.
Do you have a bucket list when it comes to music, and name one of them that you've achieved?
A bucket list as far as artists or production, like
whatever it is, when the creation of your music.
There's been a lot, man. I mean, magazines, like when we were young, we got written up in like Herb magazine, that was the hot magazine, selling out of like Walden Books and things like that, and that was probably like 2009. I've done a lot of stuff. I've freestyled and battled a kid in front of Guru, rest in peace, from Gangstar. Nice. Like I said, I did a collab with Sean Price and shot a video with it, which we still have not released, and maybe one day. We still have the footage though. We could release. But that was a great moment, and what Sean Price said to me that day made me feel like, as growing up as an artist, that I accomplished what I wanted to accomplish. I mean, they were going from like them having them ripping out of Source magazines with pictures of them on my wall to me actually being able to do a track with them or open up and play with these artists. That was a lot, and then not even the video and the music that I did with them, but just like talking to them and interacting with them, realizing how good of a person he was, and his just this the comedic value and like his humble approach, and he told me on that verse that I like bodied the verse, and it was like almost embarrassing because he like whistled me over and told me to body the verse, and like and that right there, I just stopped in my tracks and I was like, damn, like I did hip hop for all these years to hear that from an artist that I always looked up to. That makes you feel like you've accomplished something,
Yeah.
That was a big moment of my hip hop career. But there's been so many. I mean, opening up for Dell, like shortly after they released Deltron, and couple times, and like we were blessed in a lot of ways, man. And we've done there's just stuff that we've accomplished, and a lot has been behind the scenes, but we didn't really we've always switched groups and changed names and stuff, or I've been with different groups that changed names and stuff that we didn't get to notoriety. We were one of the first ones, other than Third Kind and us, and to work with the Snow Goons out of Baltimore. We did track with Tame One, and that was great. That was like when he released the Leak Brothers stuff with Cage. And honestly, I wanted like a real good collab with Cage, but I was glad I got the Tame One collab. All rest in peace with Tame One too, and that was a fun. And we went #1 on college radio with that single back in the day. So there was a lot of cool things I've learned and had the privilege of seeing and being involved with in hip hop. Not always a payday, and it's not always friendly, and not always a amount, a bowl of cherries. But man, it's if you work at it and you love your craft, you can accomplish anything. And sometimes I got stagnant with it, but over the years, the things I've learned and the people I've met and the grace I've been through, some of the stars and the people that I loved and looked up to in hip hop, was awesome. You know, I mean, opening up for various artists, De La Soul, Karis One, you know, I mean,
Nice.
and you get to meet these people, and they're real people, man. They're just like you. They're just humble people, you know. And it's like, and yo, those are, and some of the times they'll give you gems, and you just gotta listen. You know, you can't fan out and stuff like that and listen, but I mean, fan out and to them and shit. But you just gotta listen. You know, sometimes be the quiet one, be the, like the fly on the wall. You know.
Yeah.
No, it's great. I mean, those have been impactful moments in my life through hip hop.
When was it that you rocked the same stage with R.A. the Rugged Man?
That was probably about 2000. God, I would want to say around 2012. 2000. It had to be with Aces High when I was with a group called Aces High. And I think we opened up for R.A. the Rugged Man twice. But I know one of them was when he was releasing or had just released his first solo album, which is God, I can't even think of it off the top of it.
Was that the Die Rugged Man?
Yeah. Yep. So he released that, and then we played. I think we opened up for him at Sonar, and but I haven't seen Rugged Man perform in some years. But we opened up for him, I think, twice. But I definitely was for Aces High. At least one of them was for Aces High. But he always puts on a great show. He's another influential artist and an artist that I watched over the years elevated. I always loved Rugged Man from back in the Raucous days to be on like with Smut Peddlers and doing collabs with them, and then I mean, yeah, man, Rugged Man, he's another one I listen. He's one of the ones I listen to. If he has a new album that drops, I'll put in some Rugged Man. I'll listen to some Rugged Man because I feel like he's always elevating, and I respect that as an artist. Like that dude has progressed and elevating. He can hit you with the slow boom bap shit, and then he hit you with that real fast, you know, rap that he's perfected now. So yeah, and he's definitely a legend, you know, in this game. And obviously works at his craft and proceeds to get better.
Definitely. Now with Legends at the Dive Bar, if a person that's never heard of GAWDS, you know, hears this album, what do you want them to take from diving in and listening to this entire album about the music, the group?
That's a good question. I would just want them to open up their mind, you know, open up their mind a little bit more, come out of the box a little bit. That, yeah, hip hop is hip hop and we all love hip hop, but things are changing in our world. Things are changing around us. We're growing as people. We're getting older, you know, and I think we can attract the younger audience, and I would love more of the younger audience to listen to us.
Mm-hmm. I think Regulus might have frozen up for a second. Let's see if we can get him back on here. In the meantime, let's see if he can try and get that settled. The album, as we've been speaking about, Legends at the Dive Bar, it's out now. All DSPs. Possibly physical for it, like he was saying. And wanted to ask him if there was going to be any more visuals for coming from this album. But we'll see if he can try and get his technical difficulties back in, so we can have him back on here to finish. But if not, I'll put the link tree in the comments for y'all. Go check out the GAWDS and all their links for their DSPs as well as their website. Again, the new album, Legends at the Dive Bar is out now, featuring Either Mad Assassin, Sonny Reds, Zen, Mike Brown, Finch Flores, Pete the Dark Truth, Richard Cranium, and Fat Boy. Let's see. While we wait for him, let's try and put another video on. And that video will be Riled Up. Just give me a second.
When we come through, you all should know what to do. Don't get us too riled up. We might start aiming at you. When we come through, you all should know what to do. Don't get us too riled up. We might start aiming at you.
Yeah, yo. Hungry wise, we a shifty pack. Out for hunger due to knowledge. We some scholars and some nifty cats. With claws piercing through your itchy back. And if I give you 25 on your books, I'm getting 50 back. And 50 down is a crispy stack. And in this gifted match, gonna catch you slipping, watch you hit the mat. We see you pimping different. Go ahead, get the snatch. But now you tripping, Homer Simpson, you been hitting crack. You squares stick together, call them Rice Krispie stacks. I'll get them bones tied on bitches like they Christmas wrap.
They saying pen is back, let me put on my Pippin hat. Shit is crack, I heard you was tripping, don't make me get distracted. To stick to facts, I'm still wondering why these niggas rap. Shit is trash, it come in abundance, they wanna get the cash. Now picture that, this is nothing, I'm well equipped as that. Known to snap, take a photograph like Nickelback.
When we come through, you all should know what to do. Don't get us too riled up. We might start aiming at you. When we come through, you all should know what to do. Don't get us too riled up. We might start aiming at you.
The image dependence, we known as winners. Colder than winter, no co-defendants, and it's so tremendous. No photo finish, so you know it's a clinic. I know you're mobile old school, so you over your minutes.
No, this is horrendous, and you're the apprentice. And in my district court, this assault, and you're on the benches.
It's no guest list, I'm way too aggressive. I came to wreck it, paved the directions. You know these flames that came with a lesson.
A shame and a blessing came with a vengeance on a pharaoh stone. While you sitting in your chair alone, carry on.
Pheromones fucking me up, can't leave a hair
Race
alone.
against stakes to keep it above.
We're sharing stones.
They blow hard like tornadoes, fuck a baritone. Making bad choices, hearing voices through the
So
gramophone.
understand I can't condone all your rambling, damn it. No fucking amulet, I can handle it, jamming when I'm alone.
When we come through, you all should know what to do. Don't get us too riled up. We might start aiming at you. When we come through, you all should know what to do. Don't get us too riled up. We might start aiming at you. When we come through, you all should know what to do. Don't get us too riled up. We might start aiming at you. When we come through, you all should know what to do. Don't get us too riled up. We might start aiming at you.
That track, Riled Up, is off their 2021 album, Gloria. And it seems like Regulus still having issues trying to get back connected, so you're going to leave it at that. Again. Oh, let me see. I think he might be back. Legends at the Dive Bar is out now. In the link tree that I put up.
Yo, I'm back. My bad, man. My phone cut out.
Okay. It's all good.
All right. My bad. Sorry about that. Yeah, so Now you were asking me about the Dive Bar album and what do we want, I guess, people to take from it. Um, man, like I said, it's just diversity, man. Just open up and expand your mind a little bit as far as, hip hop can be different elements. You can always add different elements to hip hop, and we're always working towards our craft and trying to build and get better as a group. And yeah, just have open-minded individuals. We'd love to catch the demographic instead of listening to a lot of the crap that they're listening to. There's no message getting across, or no intellectual ability a lot coming from a lot of these new artists, and so the underground delivers a lot, but sometimes the newer stuff that we're hearing is poison in our minds. So we're just trying to create music that's going to get people an upbeat, happy feel to set them in a mood to think outside the box, man. That's it, and gain respect from listeners as far as our craft and hip hop and what we're trying to accomplish with having a singer and adding that different element. So that's big, and we're just trying to just increase that target and just see if we can go outside the realm of even hip hop and attract, because music's universal, and it's good because we try to put our music other places like placement and things like that, and it helps us. It's just not your same old hip hop, and we just wanted to be something a little different.
Yep. Even as it evolves, it still has its roots in the foundation. So definitely,
sure, and thank God for that, and the respect for that we have for hip hop. I mean, I breathe this hip hop culture, and it's always been an influence. So I'm always going to keep it hip hop, but at the same time, we're here to elevate too.
Agreed. Definitely. The album is Legend at the Dive Bar.
Mm-hmm.
Rocky Styles, Regulus, Pinpoint, L3. Makes up GAWDS. Regulus, I appreciate you taking the time to speak with us. And as always, you wouldn't be here if the quality of music that you were putting out wouldn't be meant to, spread to more and more people. So definitely respect on it.
Respect to you, man, and respect to the people like you and HHDG media that are doing this, and the podcasts all over the world that continue to give us a platform, and that's all we ask for, man. So we all need assistance, and we all need exposure in this culture, and as people like you that give us this platform to talk, to be ourselves, and to talk to masses and gain new fans, and yeah, that's much appreciated, man. You don't know how much. So I thank you as well, sir.
Absolutely. And again, put the link tree on the bottom of the banner for those to go out and support. And everything and anything related to the GAWDS is through that link tree.
Yep. You can find our YouTube, I think, on there, or Spotify links, Apple Music links, and then some videos and things like that. And if you want to purchase stuff, there's still stuff on Bandcamp. I think you can still purchase stuff like the Gloria album through Cocoa Reef, either vinyl or CD.
Okay.
You can always inbox me or Pinpoint if you need some hard copies of anything.
Mm-hmm.
And, check us out on Instagram at 410_GAWDS. And yeah, we're always here to welcome the fans and welcome more people to hear about the GAWDS, man. And also for you too. Hopefully bring some people your way. And like I said, tag me in anything in the future. I'll be more than happy to support.
Absolutely. Definitely. And before we go, the floor is yours. Give your shout outs.
Okay. Give my shout outs. All right. First and foremost, want to shout out Pinpoint and L3 and Rocky Styles. It's my group, man. Thank you all for everything that you brought to me and taught me along the way. And shout out to, my family, my mom and my dad, and I'm trying to keep them motivated and keep them going at this rate. My sister and all my friends that have helped me along the way, and of course my camp, Sonny Reds, Fat Boy, um, Pete the Dark Truth, Dictor 2 Productions, D2P, for always being our creator and our influence. And as far as the beats and the production, Tom DeLay, Mike Brown, and all the whole Baltimore scene, and everywhere, hip hop worldwide, and Ray Dio is, like I said, a new collective. It's so that's going to be a good collective. Shout out to Pink Elephants, Cliff Love, Brina. Um, you know, those are some people that you're going to be hearing about, and some artists that we're trying to help along the way, and they're trying to help us too. So, hopefully you'll hear more from that collective as well.
Keep a lookout.
Shout out for now, and shout out to HHDG Media for having us, and yourself. And I appreciate everything. Thank you. It's much greatly appreciated.
Absolutely. And also, this wouldn't be possible if it weren't through Jerry Graham. So shout out Jerry.
Oh yeah, definitely shout out to Jerry Graham. He's a publicist. He does a great job, and he's really helped us along the way as well. Shout out to Jordan Commander as well.
Absolutely, yeah.
Wayne, and those are other pinnacle people in the business that help push these artists along and help these artists get notoriety. Because if it weren't for them, they might not even heard about us, or you might not even heard about us. So thank God. And, I appreciate Jerry Graham for sure.
Definitely. And on behalf of our HHDG Media crew, we're going to say peace.
All right, peace. Shout out to HHDG. Thank you all for having me. Peace, man.